Shalom, brothers and sisters. So, you've heard about the tensions on the Poland Belarus border. So, why are the tensions mounting? Let's just cover a few facts and things that are coming out of that situation to give you a better grasp of what's happening there. Poland is sending extra troops to the border with Belarus after an alleged incursion by Belarusian military helicopters. It's just one incident. Poland's government says fighters from the Wagner mercenary group are in Belarus have been moving towards the border. Poland's government says on the 1st of August, two Belarus military helicopters flew at low altitude about 2 kilometers into its territory. Belarusian armed forces were conducting exercises at the border area at the time. Its government said there were no border violations by Mi-8 and Mi-24 helicopters and described the accusation as an old wives' tale. Residents of Bilowice have posted photographs on social media of an Mi-8 helicopter and a Mi-24 helicopter with Belarusian markings as they flew over the town. So, not an old wives' tale. BBC verifiers matched the serial numbers on the helicopters to one seen at a nearby airfield in 2018. This military incursion comes on top of thousands of illegal border crossings into Poland by Belarus by migrants. Poland claims since 2021, Belarus has been encouraging people from the Middle East and Africa to travel to Belarus and cross the border illegally. Even though there were fewer crossings now than 2 years ago, Poland's border guard says 19,000 migrants crossed the border so far this year, and 16,000 did so last year. Poland's government calls this Belarus strategy hybrid warfare. Now let me just state, the same hybrid warfare with the migrants is taking place all over Europe and in America. They're flooding you with the migrants, and a lot of these migrants are not in need of health or care or help or housing. They're there as the army needed when the time comes. The border between Poland and Lithuania is a line called the Suwalki Gap. The 60-mile, 95-kilometer strip of land is the link between Belarus and the heavily fortified Russian exclave of Kaliningrad. Many military analysts see the Suwalki Gap as a potential flashpoint area if there was conflict between NATO and Russia. The fear is that if Russia, with Belarus, were to use military force to close the gap, they could cut off the Baltic republics, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia from their NATO allies in Europe. In July, the government sent an extra 1,000 troops to the border to guard against incursions from Wagner fighters, and it recently announced it would be sending 1,000 more. However, political analysts suggest that Poland's politicians may be exaggerating the threats from Wagner and Belarus because they're facing elections shortly and they want to show that they're tough on security issues. So yes, that could be the case, or it could be that Belarus and Russia are very clever and they're doing exactly what Poland says they're doing, because it would make sense to me. And the hybrid warfare with the migrants makes complete sense to me. And the Suwalki Gap leading to Kaliningrad, yeah, that is something I'd be watching very closely as well if I was any of the countries around that gap. That would be a stress point to be keeping an eye on. So again, wars, rumors of wars, nation against nation, everybody just ready to pop off and explode. And the world has not been like this in ages, regardless of anyone trying to tell you that it's business as usual and everything's normal. If this is normal, then I've been sleeping for a very long time. God bless. Keep looking up and keep watching. Shalom.